iPad will...
No problem. I think we have time.
Yeah.
Everyone's here yet.
Okay.
So, dear colleagues and tourist guides all around the world joining us on Facebook and YouTube, we're here live again.
Okay.
Yes, perfect. We are really live. And we still have to wait a few minutes until all the guides are back from lunch and join the walking tour. Our guide is already here. She's preparing herself.
Okay.
And yeah, so I will leave you now today. Our technician behind the scene is Martha, also from our company, Hybrid Streaming. So she will film and
Hola,
jump in.
mira, me han guardado un ordenador con este número. No sé si podéis ponerme esto también.
¿Cómo se llama usted?
Vanessa Reichmuth.
Lo dejo junto.
Sí, por favor.
Because we have delegates meeting and the rest of our streaming team is now going downstairs.
Hi, welcome. I'm Vanessa, the guide. Andreas?
Big
Okay,
collection
I'm from
about the
Switzerland,
needs
so
about,
hallo, willkommen.
yeah, the next
Doch, ich bin die Guide. Ja, ich bin Guide in Madrid. Ich bin hier aufgewachsen.
Und machst du das jetzt in welcher Sprache? Englisch?
Englisch.
Okay.
Englisch. Ja.
Sehr gut. Das wird eine 3-Stunden-Tour, ne?
Ja, genau. Zu Fuß. Ja.
Sportlich.
Ja. Ja, es geht schon ziemlich bergauf, aber ziemlich. Ich meine,
Ja,
es ist nicht flach. Ja, ist nicht flach. Also, man verdient sich die Churros.
and that's amazing.
Was werden so die Highlights sein?
Yes, we are live on Facebook
Okay.
and YouTube. And I think you talk tomorrow during the professional day about the technology, how to use
Die
it.
Costa del Sol, die Plaza Mayor, also wir machen Habsburger Viertel, wir machen La Latina, Königspalast, ein bisschen
Come and visit us. And now you visited, and then we make virtual tours and whatever comes
schnell
with
wir
them.
zu
Yeah,
Fuß sind.
great.
Enjoy.
Aber wir versuchen es ein bisschen einen Eindruck zu
So we
machen.
will follow
Erstes
you.
Mal in Madrid?
Not the
Follow
guide.
my lovely colleague.
Nein, zum zweiten Mal, aber das erste Mal nur ganz kurz.
Okay. Okay.
From Sales and Marketing at Guiding Group. So, and we are onboarding the tour right now to go in the city center of
Weil
Madrid.
in Madrid fährt man ja durch ganz viele Häuserschluchten mit, da sieht man auf dem Doppeldeckerbus nichts. Also
Okay.
ich will das nicht schlecht reden jetzt.
Also
aber
ich
es war-
finde es, der kommt davon wo, aber ich finde, es gibt schon Ecken, die Gran Via, finde ich immer, man macht das am besten mit einem Doppeldeckerbus, weil die Fassaden sind, die Dächer und die Fassaden sind so schön und wenn man zu Fuß auf der Straße ist, dann irgendwie kriegst man nicht nach oben. Das sind so viele Schaufenster, die
Ich
meisten
habe so die
sind
historische Tour gemacht, die ist geteilt. eine historische
Okay,
und
ja,
eine moderne.
stimmt.
Und dann ist der Text nicht synchron und
Ah,
so.
okay.
Das ist,
Also eigentlich habe ich es in Madrid nie gemacht. Nur Weihnachten, diese Weihnachtsleuchte, aber das ist jetzt was ganz anderes. Und das ist von der Stadt. Das sind die gleichen Busse, aber es gibt keine Info. Es ist einfach nur, um die Beleuchtung zu sehen. Ja. Also in Hamburg habe ich, eine Bike-Tour gemacht.
schön, ja. Das mache ich auch als Guide.
Ja.
Es ist toll in Hamburg mit dem
Das habe ich
Fahrrad,
mal.
weil es relativ flach ist.
Ja,
das kann man
das war
sehr
ganz
schön
nett.
machen.
Das war noch 2014,
Ja.
13, also die Oper war noch nicht fertig, war noch am Bauen. Ich glaube, es war 2014, irgend sowas, ja.
Bike-Tour ist toll. Und man kann auch viel sehen, man kann da Strecken überbrücken und so. Ne?
Ja,
Man kann
ich fand es
kurze
super.
Zeit-
Also in Hamburg, es war mein drittes Mal, aber ich fand es immer noch super. Das einzige Problem bei mir Hamburg ist, ich fühle mich kleiner wie nie irgendwo anders, weil ihr seid alle immer so groß in Hamburg und ich bin
Menschen sind so groß,
ja
oder?
genau.
Ach so, okay. Ja.
Also ich habe lange in
Ja.
München,
Kann ich auch.
gelebt und in der Schweiz sind wir auch nicht besonders groß. Aber ja. Hi, I'm Vanessa, I'm the guide.
Are you the guide?
Yes,
Where do
yes.
you have this wonderful machine from?
From her.
That's perfect. she did right. So you
Okay.
don't need the app.
No.
I will go to your
Andreas, hallo.
Hallo Andreas.
Hi.
Bist du Deutsch? Können wir Deutsch reden?
Ja, Hamburg.
Sehr gut.
Hallo.
Ja, super. Hast du die App schon runtergeladen?
Nein.
Ja, dann viel Spaß damit.
Ja.
Mit der kann man dann zuhören. Und die schöne Stimme hören.
Okay.
Ja, sure. Good.
Like this one, they're old, but they work with
The phone, yes. Yes.
I have 5 with these. I have to see these
We could check.
or because you downloaded the app yesterday already on the phone.
Yeah, with the phone, they will.
Oh yeah, because she had the micro. Oh, you have the microphone.
I have the microphone. Yeah, I have both microphones. I feel, I feel like a superstar.
Yes,
I'm gonna start singing now.
yes.
Is Spain next idol or something like that?
Keep the two
Is it
away from each
Bluetooth or is it the?
No, it's Wi-Fi.
Okay.
It creates its own Wi-Fi network.
Okay, great. Yeah.
So no internet needed. No
Okay.
Bluetooth or anything.
Because I tried last summer. I tried from Vox Connect this system. I wasn't very happy with it.
Yeah.
It was a little bit too much delay between.
Exactly. Us, it doesn't have any delay. The only problem we had yesterday was in the castle. The echo, because of this microphone, we think is putting interferences on the thing. So let's see how it goes today. We will try again.
Okay.
But yeah, with those ones, it's not going to do that. But because I connected you these other devices, it can connect with any old Whisper system. So it's both. Smartphone, Whisper system, you can connect.
So really interesting to see that.
First, we have some flyers.
Yeah.
To keep the
Yeah,
name.
I'm gonna have one then. Hi.
Perfect.
So I have no clue how many people are coming with us.
The partners.
Does somebody know if somebody is missing or are we?
I have no idea how many we are going to be.
Neither. I asked Alushka, but she.
Yes. Whoever is here, we will start.
Okay.
Yes, we'll give a few minutes extra.
Yeah, let people.
Thank you very much, dear. I appreciate
Okay.
No problem. Yeah, I get it. But that's why it's good, because everybody can choose.
We're from the old school, as we say.
Where are you from?
Cyprus.
Oh, nice. Awesome. Okay.
Started 3, was that?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe if we start quarter past.
Yeah. I'm only waiting that the technique is. It's already.
I'm giving you this.
Oh, yes,
You
perfect.
have the
Thank
email
you.
behind.
Okay, yes.
Estelle, did you onboard them over there?
Oh, they're with us? Okay.
Are they with us? Okay.
Okay, Guide Nummer. So. Dann bin ich immer gespannt, wie das funktioniert.
Ja. Dann müssen wir später da erzählen, weil ich kriege es auch nicht mit.
Okay, ich kann nicht schon hören. Ich habe auch Kopfhörer dabei.
Okay.
Ob mein Akku reichen wird.
Hi, are you coming with us?
I don't speak English.
Okay.
You are it?
Yes, I'm the guide.
Hello.
Hi.
How are
I'm
you?
Vanessa.
You are from Spanish?
Yeah, I'm from Spain, yes.
Spania?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
How many people do you are?
I don't know. Alushka told me about 10,
Just
but I see
checking
we
in
are
with
a little
you
bit more than
here.
that.
We're slowly getting ready.
Yeah, I'll tell you. I think-
hopefully
yeah,
we'll be
exactly.
on tour
No,
in
only one. Yeah.
a couple of minutes.
Do you have earpieces? Yeah. Okay, perfect.
So, hi, welcome.
Here is
Is it? Yes, I'm the guide. I'm the
If you want
guide.
to be more comfortable, you can put this on the ear, you know.
Yeah, but I think I prefer it like that.
Okay,
Doesn't
perfect.
matter. Yes, I'm the guide and Vanessa.
Vanessa?
Yes.
Oh, very, very, very. Vanessa.
And you are from?
I am from Greece.
Ah,
From
nice.
Athens. Live in Athens. Yeah,
Okay.
but the whole Greece.
Nice.
My daughter, but she is.
Okay. So, and you okay with the tour in English?
Yes.
Oh, I heard myself. Ah, that's from your phone.
Yeah.
Again?
If you have in Greek, it will be better. It is also very interesting, very nice city. We are in love.
Okay,
More than
great.
Paris, more than Paris. because
Oh
Paris,
no!
what is great about Paris?
Every city has its
No, it is
things.
really. No, we were in the museum and we took a guide.
Ah,
And
yes,
he
they asked
explained
me
us
about.
very nice and
Okay.
really
You remember
this
the name?
in mind. Yes, Ignacio.
Ah, yeah. It's a very,
He
yeah.
was explaining us so
Yeah.
nice. We
Lucky we decided.
were lucky.
We say we are guides and we know what guide means. And it was really correct.
Yeah. Yeah, to guide for guides, it's quite a challenge.
Of course. Yeah, you see this is what you have to see and also the stories.
Yeah.
We wouldn't see all this if
Okay. So I think if everything is set up, can we start?
I think so.
Okay.
Enjoy.
Thank you. Ah, you're not coming with us?
No, unfortunately, I had an appointment, so
Okay.
I just canceled.
Okay. So welcome everybody. I think we can start this 15. Because you are too close to me, maybe you are hearing yourself? Or
I don't hear anything.
okay. I have no idea, but the technique, Estelle is the one. Okay.
Kommt nichts ran?
Nichts hören?
Nein, ich weiß nicht wieso.
Man musste die einfach mal schließen, neu aufmachen. Richtig schließen, genau.
Weil vorhin hat es funktioniert.
Problem. I want to hear like this, but this now I cannot hear. But now, when you talk like this, I can hear. So shall I walk like this or?
Is it your earphones?
It's no, it's 3K.
Maybe.
Maybe we don't connect.
You don't hear right
No,
now?
I don't hear. Yeah.
So I'm going to give you another one then.
Dann ist es nicht, okay? Und dann ist die Frage.
Our company, I'm from Greece and I wish all the best. And for the next convention,
Finally.
we to meet again. Yeah, that is really so nice city. We have been in the morning, yeah, we went around and it's better than Paris, you know, I like better now. Yeah, really. I was in love with Paris, now not anymore.
Let's go.
So good afternoon, everybody. My name is Vanessa Reichmuth. I'm your guide this afternoon. I'm going to show you my city, Madrid. I'm half Swiss, half Spanish, but I grew up in Madrid, so I lived a little bit in all Europe, but Madrid is my city. So I'm very, very glad to have this opportunity to guide you, colleagues in your country, so it's a bit of a challenge also. I hope you will enjoy Madrid as I do, and I hope you will discover with me all the secrets to really enjoy this special city. So we are all together here. So we are walking about 3 hours with stops. That's the perfect excuse to have your churros with chocolate after that. That's
just had lunch.
yeah, that's because we have to open, we have to make place for the next course. Yeah, when you see it, you really can't avoid it. So let's start. We are going to discover a little bit of the Madrid of the Habsburgs, the Latina and the Real Palace. So, and we are going to finish here our tour back at the hotels. But I hope I will give you a lot of tips for I know you are only staying until Friday, I think, but for the next visit or for the couple of days who are left. Okay, come with me. So how was yesterday Aranjuez, the Real Palace? Great, excellent. It's the first one in Madrid. For you it was the first time, and first time. So a lot of people it's the first time in Madrid. And so far the impression? No. Okay, yeah. Well, climate. Yes, very good food. Okay. And have you had time to discover a little bit by your own the Habsburg district? Okay, so you did your homework. Fine, great. So, the Gran Via, the big avenue that connects Madrid East with Madrid West. Later, when we walked through the old and narrow, it's working? Yeah, okay. All the narrow streets of the Habsburg neighborhood, you will understand why Madrid needed such a big avenue. It was built at the beginning of the 20th century. 1911 was the first brick laid here by the King Alphonse III, the 13th, sorry. And it was the time when Madrid starts to grow. At the beginning of the 20th century, Madrid had less than 500,000 people living, and they decided to let the city expand and build the new neighborhoods, Salamanca and Argüelles in the west and in the east. So this new avenue was needed, not only to connect these new neighborhoods, but also to have a new wide and big avenue for the new riches, the new industrials and bankers to build his houses. And to open the movie theaters, party halls, and new shops that needed more space. And of course, to have the space for the new arriving cars to Madrid. But everything here was built, so they had to demolish about 350 houses and about 14 streets disappear in order to have this new avenue that connected this west and east. I'm going to show you some old pictures so that you can see how it looks. You can imagine the destruction of a church was not the same as every other building, so kind of a problem in Madrid when they touched the church, and that's the way it was until now. So this third part of the Gran Via is the newest one. It was built between 1930 and just before the start of the Spanish Civil War. It has to stop because of the war, and it's the part where the buildings are higher and more inspired in New York or Chicago. The new skyscrapers came to Spain, or the idea of that, and that was the impression or the model for the building here. But When we walk through the other parts, the first ones, we'll see completely different kind of architecture, more inspired in Paris, more new Baroque, new historicism styles, more decoration in the facades. So this is a little Broadway of Madrid. Here at the Gran Via there were 15 movie theaters and 10 theaters in all the streets. Today we have consolidated this last part for these theaters and movie theaters. The Rialto inside, really rich decorated with stained glass, inspired by the Paramount Movie Theater in New York. Place or seats for about 2,000 people are available in all of these theaters at the Gran Via. Today we find all the musicals, West Side Story or whatever here in this last part of the Gran Via. Office space, movie theaters, but today most of them are hotels. And in the last years they have discovered that the rooftop is the better visit card, and a lot of them have reopened a new rooftop with a bar, a pool or something like that. So to attract not only tourists but also the Madrileños to come here during the spring and summer nights to have drinks and to enjoy the sunset. Yeah. You have to think the Gran Via district are used every day by more than 30,000 people. It's together with the Preciado Street, the next one we are going to take, the most used street in Madrid. So you see the difference? If you turn, it's remarkable. This decoration of the facades. And this square Callao connects both streets, the most used street, oh, I can hear me, in Madrid. The Gran Via with the Calle Preciados, who connects with the Madrid of the Habsburgs. This is, together with both streets, the square, the most working. It's not working apparently. Can you hear me? So. Yes? So let me show you a couple of pictures of this construction. That was really a pity. That was really a pity. And from above.
And the market hall was where?
Exactly behind the big building there with the pines.
Okay.
It's still one, but modern, ugly, nothing to do.
Was destroyed in World War II or what?
No, it's only to construct the avenue. They needed a space.
Okay.
Yes. Oh yes. Yes.
The old parts?
Yes. Let me show you how it was before the construction so you can see. Oh. So this is Madrid, like both neighborhoods. You need a big avenue here, but there are buildings everywhere. So they were like 50 years discussing where exactly this should start. And 300 buildings, churches, market halls, were demolished the church and the market hall. So this second part is the shopping area of Madrid, one of the most important. Here you find every brand you find in every other city in the world. Zara, Mango, this kind of places. And it's a pity because the facades and the mythological figures and sculptures that are above are so pretty, but everybody is distracted by the windows, shopping windows. So Madrid is not the best city in order to conserve its history. Exactly where this beautiful building from the 70s, 60s, 70s is, were located the very famous Hotel Florida, where all the correspondents from Paris and US, Saint-Exupéry, Hemingway, Dos Passos, Frank Zappa lived during the Civil War in Spain. And they lived here because the telecommunication company, the Spanish one, the Telefónica, his building is a few blocks from here, and because they had to go there every day to have censor his articles, they were practical for them to live here close by. It was the only place where you could find anything. But the 70s in Madrid were years of destruction. The modern buildings were nicer. Everybody wanted to have a red brick, modern, ugly building instead of the nice old ones. So this Preciado Street here, everybody in Spain knows the name because a long time was the most expensive street in the Spanish version of Monopoly. And still it's the shop owner here were really protest against that because they thought, okay, without cars, nobody were coming to this place to do his shopping. Today, of course, all the streets in the city center wants to be also pedestrian, or that's their wish. During the summertime, they place like planes to get shadow, to avoid people to go only to the shopping centers with air conditioning, because summer months from mid-June till mid-September are quite hot in Madrid. In August, we can achieve the 40 degrees very easy. So they try to attract still the few people who stay in Madrid for this time. And the Corte Inglés, it's the new religion. Of course, now we go more often to the Corte Inglés than to the church. It's the department store. We had 2 years ago, but the Corte Inglés was so big, he ate the other up. So it's our only department store, and you can find everything here. During Christmas time, this street is so crowded that in the last 3 years, even before COVID, they decided to try to organize a little bit the people here coming down and up, so they make like directions. This Preciado Street, you could only go down And if you wanted to go up, you had to take the parallel one, the Calle El Carmen. You can imagine the elderly ladies who went shopping and saw a dress in the first shop, and he decided to buy the dress and wanted to go back. And the policeman said, no, you have to take the other one. No, my dress is gone, I'm going to lose it. It's not possible. My mom was one of them. I experienced that in my own flesh. So the same Saturdays, Fridays evening, that's the worst time to come here at Preciados. It's crowded. So, what's today? Wednesday, 3 o'clock or 3:30, more or less, and you see, not bad. Wait a couple of hours and you will see how it is. Yeah, sunshine. We have such a nice weather this week. Extra arranged from Alushka because she stay here a couple of weeks preparing, organizing everything. Even the weather to arrange for you. So the Puerta del Sol, that's the beating heart of Madrid. Everything happens here. The name, translated to English, is Sun Gateway. And that's because at the beginning, the medieval age, when Madrid started to be a city, this was the name of one of the gateways from the wall that reached the city that had carved a sun in the entrance, and everybody called this entrance, this gateway, the Puerta del Sol, the Sun Gate. So from gateway to the absolutely city center, beating heart of the city, that's the evolution of this square. Icon, our symbol, this viper, the strawberry tree, who has been in parts of the city since the 16th century. And he has the Plaza del Puerta del Sol since 1977. So it had different that's a place where you have to take your photo as a tourist coming to Madrid. There are two ones here in the Puerta del Sol. That's the one. Before the 13th century, it was a peasant and up the burr into this strawberry tree. It was changed here about 15 years ago. Before that, it was there in this street El Carmen. That's the meeting point of the Madrileños. We meet here. So if you come here Friday evening or Saturday evening, you can even see the burr with so many people surrounding. So you can imagine all the shop owners from this street, they were protesting, were in the city center. But now I have to explain you 3 secrets about us, about Madrileños. One is when we say 10 minutes, never believe that. Our 10 minutes can be from 12, never 10, till half an hour. So if you have a Madrileño, a friend of Madrid, and you call him, where are you? Yes, I'm almost there in 10 minutes. You can assure he's still at home. So Madrileños is really something special, and they got really offended if you say that, it's not so good, I prefer mineral water. Never. It's really a huge offense. And third, we love standing queues. We see a queue and we stand, no matter what, we ask, okay, what's here? We think if there are people standing in line, something worth it. So that's the 3 secrets to understand Madrileñan people. So, in this case, our wild bear with the strawberry tree. But let's see other icons. Hola. So, from gateway to beating heart of the city, and that all surrounding this building. This is the sí.
Perdona, pero es que algunos no tenemos el aparato este y si no hablas más fuerte es que no.
Vale. Okay.
Pero no hay batería.
Ah, okay.
Si no hablas no.
Perfect, perfect, yes.
Sí, yo tampoco tengo el aparato. Claro. Suena muy mal. No te escuchamos.
Okay, I'm going to do the traditional way. Yeah. Yeah, okay. I had my own. Okay.
No, I have it on the phone.
Yes, but some of them they have devices.
So that means there is another problem with that battery main system. Yeah.
It's not my system. So can maybe help. I can't help. Yeah, let's do it traditional way. Okay. This is the main building
doesn't
here
attend
at
the World Federation Convention in Madrid. They
the
missed a
Royal
lot.
House. It was built
They missed a lot. It's
It's
amazing time, amazing weather, amazing
during
group
the
we have with
Enlightenment
us.
time, and
Yes.
has been a lot of things. But today, that's the headquarters of the presidency of law.
Austria would like to speak.
Or celebrate with the people.
Austria.
But the most famous thing, it's not the balcony, but it's clock. Before having this clock, the only clock here in Madrid, in this area, was the clock of the church here. But from Leon decided to give Madrid a real good clock to have an exact time. And that was it. Since 1868, this clock is the one we look at in New Year's Eve, and we come here, we gather here at the Puerta del Sol, and we have a very nice tradition. I suppose most of you, you know what we do? We ate grapes. With the countdown, with each stroke of this bell, we ate a grape. It's something we do, everybody in Madrid, almost everybody in Spain at the same time. That's very nice because everybody's doing the same at the same time. I would say 90% of the people achieve to eat this 12 grape. I belong to the 10% that never has achieved to eat the 12 grapes. My record this year was 11. But I hope every year to have more luck and could. But you have 3.5 seconds per grape. It's not so easy as it could seem. And because that's the real post house, from here the king started to build all the streets, all that connected the center of Spain, the capital of the kingdom, with the other regions in Spain. We are going to see that. And of course, the new Instagram tradition is to make a food selfie with the plaque of the kilometer zero. So if you take your highway to Barcelona, for example, even if the highway doesn't start here at the city center, but it starts to count here. So if you are kilometer 150, whatever, it started here to count. And not only that, but all the streets in Madrid, the first numbers are the ones who are closer to the Puerta del Sol. So, in other cities you have like signs, that's the numbers go in this direction. We have to have orientation. You go out from the subway, from the metro, and you say, where is the Puerta del Sol? Then I should go in this direction. So most of people are lost because nobody has orientation nowadays. But that's where the streets start to count, and the highways to connect Madrid with all the regions in Spain starts also to count. So let's continue. And now you can see how it comes. Every minute more people there. And this gateway was one of the most used gateways to go into the city or go out the city, because it connected directly with this main street, Calle Mayor. Oh, sorry. With the Royal Palace. So this stop is a nightmare for me because I'm on a diet. So not be distracted by the sweets. Take a look here. Because you can come together and take a look. All the shops, taverns, bakers, whatever, that are more than 100 years old, get such a plaque from the city. It's the same design everywhere. The only thing that changes, it's the name of the shop and the foundation's year, 1894. It's here, La Mallorquina, one of the most known bakeries, patisseries of Madrid. And I say, this stop is a nightmare because that's the oven, or that's the ventilation of the oven, and if we stop here, we smell it. Especially in the mornings, it's awful. As I said, I'm on a diet, so quite a challenge. We have about 130 of them every year. Some of them disappear. Some of them get new ones when they achieve their 100 years. Condition, they have to be at the same place and be the same thing without big changes. So continue the tradition of the family, let's say. Most of them are family-owned shops. And most of them today are taverns and restaurants. But you have dressmakers, hat makers, so kind of traditional clothes shops. Continue here.
Yo no me quiero.
So. So we saw the strawberry tree, that's it. If I say strawberry tree, maybe some of you are thinking in really strawberries. That's not. That's a madroño. It's our tree. Today we can find a lot of them. At the Casa de Campo there are several, but that's it. It's not a big tree. We don't have big trees here in Madrid and surroundings. It's like that's the highest example that we can see. So I don't know.
Why is it called a strawberry tree? I don't
That's because the fruit, the madroño, it's very similar to a strawberry. Yeah, resembles. But from the taste, it's something quite different. And madroños, you can eat it only when it's really the time. You have like 1-2 days when it's sweet, and after that, it's gone. It's a very special taste. And yes, something like that. We don't eat that. Honestly, we make a liqueur of that. So we will find more licor de madroño liqueur than madroño itself to buy it. I never saw it in the market or whatever to buy it. Sometimes there are people, they make some sweets, but that's it.
Yes, Susanna, what's the Latin name?
Madroño.
Just madroño.
Madroño, exactly. Exactly, but in every other language, because I do also tours in German, it's Erdbeer. It's the same. It's strawberry tree in German too. And there are in Germany some also these strawberry trees. You can find it in the region of Nuremberg. There are some of them. Yeah. Okay. So this is the main street, Calle Mayor. You know, in Spain, in almost every city, every village, we have the Calle Mayor. That's the main street. Usually, it's the street that connects the power area with the cathedral, or it's like the street where all palace, bishops, or whatever are located. And Madrid was a common city as well, like others, because Madrid became the capital of Spain in 1561. Before that, Madrid was nothing. It was a small village in the middle of Spain, without no importance, without no meaning, without nothing. A really small village. And as a so small village, the main street was the most important as that. Let's continue. So here you have another one of these traditional shops, 1895, I think, if I remember. El Riojano, the Royal Baker, opened this small shop here at the main street, and they were the Royal Baker during a long period of time. It's one of the most beautiful, very traditional, has a nice cafe inside that most of the Madrileños forget about his existence. So even in Christmas, during the time where everything is crowded, usually you get a space or spot here at the Riojano. We love sweet, as you can see. Okay. I don't know if everybody's hearing me, because some of you have told me it doesn't work, but take a look here at the facade. This main street, this Calle Mayor. This area was rebuilt when the Puerta del Sol was also remade to adopt the same style, and we have very, very nice buildings. It was the address everybody wanted to have in the visit card. Yes, they need to stop, and we are allowed. So if you turn, you see my dream house. I hope to win sometime the lottery in Spain and buy the last. But I'm working as a guide since 2008 and never saw a sign of selling the apartment. So I not only need a lot of money, I need a contact, a lot of luck. So yes, I have a very beautiful daughter. I try to come with her. Maybe she has more luck than me.
Where is she?
No, it's a joke. She's in Switzerland now. Yeah, but it was a family who went to Cuba to make money, and they were very successful with the import and export of cafe, cacao, and tea. And you see the tiles. Maybe you can read, it's tea, cafe, cacao, it's the products that made them rich. And when they came back to Madrid, they wanted to show everybody how well they had made in Cuba. So they built this magnificent house. The first floors were the shop where they continued to sell the cafe, the cacao, and of the tea of Cuba, and the upper floors were the residence of the family, and maybe sometime also mine. But okay.
How old is the house?
How old the house? The house was built in the late 19th century, in 1897. All this area is built between the late years of the 19th century and the first of the 20th century.
This property still belong to them?
No.
Not
Now
anymore.
there are flats. Every floor is an apartment, but they are like 350 square meters. So, like 3 times my apartment.
What the price will be? About?
I suppose about 2.5 million euros, more or less.
That's very decent.
Yeah. Yeah. I have to put away all the tips from my life, and maybe I can start with. Okay. This corner is not bad also, to have there your office space, not bad.
No, I like that.
You like the other one more? Me. Yeah, and you see the other one has the sun every time.
You're a rich man.
the main street, the Calle Mayor, comes to the Plaza Mayor, the main square. So you have to imagine this small village. In fact, the origin in Madrid is a fortress that was built where the royal palace is located today. We are going to see that later, to protect Toledo. Toledo was the main city, the important one. So in the year 1820, the Muslims of Toledo, they built this fortress to protect Toledo from the Christians who were coming from north. So we were going to see why. And in the 11th century, Madrid was taken finally was taken from the Christians during this Reconquista. But stand here in the middle between Toledo and Segovia were the important cities. We are going to both cities on Friday. So no noble families or no big families lived here. It was a village with about between 8,500 and 10,000 people living here. So 1561, the Habsburg, they decided to have his capital in Madrid because exactly it was in the middle of Spain and it was very practical and very convenient for them. Also Philip II, he didn't love Toledo, so he decided to change. We are going to hear something different in Toledo from Iñaki, I suppose. We have a strange relationship, the guides in Toledo and the guides in Madrid. But okay, but you have to change a city from a small village to the head of your empire. We are talking about the Habsburgs. They belong half Europe. So you need to build a lot of things, and one of them is a main square, a main market, where not only marketplace can be held, but also in this Baroque conception, all kind of festivities. Processions, tournaments, but also executions. They were hung here or garroted. Depending on what you commit, you were garroted or hung in one or the other corner of the square. The famous autos de fe, the famous trials from the Inquisition were also held here. They managed to make place for 50,000 people to come see all these festivities that the king and the nobles arranged for the city. It was like in Rome, bread and circus for the villagers, for the people. During the mornings, there were market hall, everything was sold here. Everybody came with his products from the country, and in the middle of the square they sold what they had. And in the evenings or in the afternoons, this procession, tournaments, even bullfightings. The first bullfightings in Madrid were held here at the Plaza Mayor. I have a few pictures for you so you can picture that better.
May I ask Suzanne, when was the last time of somebody being beheaded here at the time of the guillotine?
No, it was before that, because at the time of the guillotine, so the city has grown and they had opened a new garroting space or hanging space outside the city, or outside in the border of the city.
So what was the last
17th century, more or less, 1680s, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
In France it was 19, now it was 40.
Yeah, but they... So, bullfights?
Yes. Nice.
But now it's no bullfights in Spain.
Doch, yeah, yes.
More than.
We have it at we have a bullfighting ring
In
Madrid. In Madrid, it's the biggest one. The biggest one in the world is in Mexico, but the biggest one in Europe is in Madrid. And we still have bullfightings.
So it's still
more or less 55 per year. There are a lot of people today. It's the bullfighting arena has seats or place for 25,000 people. And I don't think they managed to fill that up, 25, but 15, 20, they managed to have it. It's the most famous in Spain with the most activity. and Madrileños, they still love it. It's something very complicated. I think the new generations, they don't like it.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's something complicated, and I think it's going to die from alone because young people have no interest in that.
Are you interested in bullfighting? No, not really.
Yeah, but you are not in Spain, but still a Spanish one. Still, I have a season card. I'm the one who goes. I'm the one who loves that. But my kids, they look at me like, okay, Mom, you are really torturing.
Dinosaur.
Yeah, exactly. Me, dinosaur and watching.
But when is the season?
April till October. It's like the winter ties in Germany, or the summer ties.
I think I saw it in Prado.
Yeah, that's exactly, that's from the Prado. That's this trial from the Inquisition. Yeah, that's this trial from the Inquisition. The biggest one. So the Inquisition, they put in trial all the people who claimed to be Catholic and wasn't really, or wasn't not following the rules like they should. Not other religions. Only the ones. But it's true that in order to live in Spain, you have to be Catholic. So that was the point. And 3 years ago, we celebrate the 400th anniversary of the square, and every weekend, one of the young artists in Madrid, they could make a new installation. And the most successful was this one with grass. It was so nice that they managed to have, after that, 50,000 signatures to ask the city council to put the grass here at the, but no chance. So today, the Plaza Mayor is still used for all kind of celebration, Christmas market, yoga events, whatever, are still held here at the Plaza Mayor. It's convenient, you have no cars. It's very easy to arrange or to organize something. The building, that's the Baker Guild's house. The bakers had his guild here. They were the most important in the city because they decided the price of the most elemental food, the bread. Today, that's the tourist office of Madrid, the tourist board who works with us or not, depending. That's them. And in front of that, that's a butcher's house, same building but without the decoration and without the royal balcony, because the king, of course, he came himself to watch all these bullfightings, executions, and whatever. That's a hotel. But the rest of the building, the rest are apartments, private apartments. Of course, today a lot of them you can find it in Airbnb or whatever, but there are still a lot of people who lived here at the Plaza Mayor. But you have to imagine, the terraces are open until 1 o'clock in the morning, and they have no elevator, and air conditioning shouldn't be possible they have, because it's not allowed to put your machine in the balconies. Yeah, but there are a lot of them. I think, yeah, when the police comes, they say, okay, pull once. But yeah, that's it. So every city in Spain has a square like that, a Plaza Mayor. They are different, bigger, nicer. Madrid and Salamanca claims to have the more beautiful one. So now you have to go to Salamanca to decide from both of them what are the most beautiful. So
maybe also some kind of concert.
Yeah, yes, we have in spring with the festivities of Madrid. We have 1 week of concerts, and they should finish at 1 o'clock in the morning. But sometimes the people are still here until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. So that's because it's really not so nice sometimes to live. We have also in autumn we have concerts quite often. So it's really the place to be, but maybe not the place to live more than 1 month or more than a tourist. That's because the prices are not very expensive. Exactly. I think from the corner from here you have the best view, the best perspective. And with the flag, and they forget about it, and it was bad quality. But because I have a lot of Austrian tourists, because I do mostly tours in German, and sometimes they ask me. And one time I asked him and say, no, it's a Spanish one, but decolored, bad quality. Exactly, should be yellow. But okay, as I told you, red brick. Granite from the mountains of Madrid, and of course these rooftops in slate, the steepless. That's like the iconic characteristics of this Habsburg style in Madrid. So let's go. It's very sad to see all the souvenir shops closed. Okay. So this is the outside of the Plaza Mayor and the buildings who support all the square, all the buildings in the square. Market was held not only at the square but everywhere surrounding it. Depending on how early you arrive, you could have the best spot in the middle of, or you should stay in this surrounding streets. The products were divided by spaces. The baker's house, before that was bread and flour, and this part was the butcher's house, the butcher's area, so the butchers. So this... Mind the bike, mind the bike. Yeah, pay attention. Exactly. This is the Arco de Cuchilleros, where the cutleers had his stands to work with the knives of the butchers. They need to have the knives sharpened every hour, or I don't know, I'm not. So that was the place to come to get your knife in order to continue exactly cutting. So we have the Salt Street, we have the Button Street. So every street, a lot of streets maintain or still has the same name as it had according to the kind of products were sold in this area. There's a high difference in Madrid. We are going up and down every time. So we make a little bit of exercise. That's because it's not the same if you come from the main street where we came at the beginning, when you go here, because the street goes down. So that's the highest difference between the street and the square. So if you want to have bullfightings or tournaments, you have to avoid this down and up. So you have to build this structure to hold this kind of ceremonies or bullfightings at the plaza. And there, if you build this structure, there you have a lot of place to have the taverns. That's the best thing you can have after an execution. Everybody was thirsty, so they came here. That was the traditional tavern street of Madrid. I'm very happy that this street exists because my parents met the first time here after the fourth wine. That's because I'm existing. So that's my yeah. Whatever. My mother told me she had a lot of wine. That's because, but okay. That's it. The tradition is you start at the beginning, close to the Puerta, to the plaza, and you go down, eating and drinking in every of the taverns, the specialty of the house. So let's see how it is. Now they are closed, but it's kind of touristic nowadays. But still, you can try this evening, maybe. So they are small and dark, but that's the point of it. And you see, that's a champignon tavern, so you can imagine what they served here. The mesón de la tortilla, a Spanish omelette, mesón del boquerón, anchovies.
Where your parents met exactly? Which place?
Champignon, the last one.
On the left?
Yeah, the last one. Yeah, exactly. They are all of the left one. Hey, they look quite different from this side. They are the same houses, the same apartments at in the Plaza Mayor. That's the entrances. The Plaza maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Was a church. That's because they are called Saint Miguel, Saint Anna, Saint something. Yeah, and of course. Can you see? Okay.
You mean this is a church?
This is no. That's the market hall they built after the church. Yeah, and there were no space for squares, for new buildings, for market halls, whatever. So they decided to, demolish to change, and 1/3 of all churches and monasteries were destroyed in order to build open spaces or new buildings.
The Catholic Church and the Pope were not against?
Yeah, of course they was against, but they couldn't do nothing. They get some other things in rewards. No, of course. So here they built this market because they started to think, okay, have an open market. It's not so convenient, especially during the summertime. It's too hot for the product. So they decided to, when this kind of iron structures came to London, to Paris, they decided to build these big marketplaces. It was open, not with glass or crystal, it was open, but still from this because they opened a lot of supermarkets here in the area. It was closed for about 15 years. Nobody knew what to do with that. It was a nice building, but no use. And finally, in 1999, a group of private investors asked the city to reopen that, but as a gourmet place. It was one of the first who made the change from...
So till what time will they open?
Until 1 o'clock in the morning.
Oh.
So, now it's a problem. I usually lose some clients here. Please, let's meet again in max 5 minutes in the other side. Al fondo hay que bajar una escalerita, pero son de pago, 50 céntimos.
Oh, food everywhere, so nice.
It's a perfect time. It's too late for Spanish people. They have already eaten, and too early to have dinner. The floor, or half of them. San Miguel, there you have it.
For lunch,
Lunch, dinner, yes.
Where you find this?
It takes 5 minutes. Okay. So one of the colleagues was in the toilet. So we have to if you come here evening, but anyway, the evening starts today. Nowadays with a vermouth. That's homework. You have 3 things to taste in Madrid. One is chocolate con churros. I will show you that. It's chocolate. That's dough that you have to dip in a chocolate. Not sauce, but then chocolate to drink. Churros con chocolate, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Of course, callos madrileña. That's our typical food. That's I forget the name. Callos in English. Cotton of English. No, no. It will come. And Kutten. No, Kutten. Yeah, thank you. I forgot. I have it. Okay. But most importantly, ham. But that's for all Spain. I'm talking about Madrid itself. Jamón, tortilla. It opens your stomach fluids, and exactly. That's because it's aperitif. And that's how we started the evening today in Madrid. So you have a lot of nice places inside to try your vermouth, or in any tavern, and the good vermouth, it's not from a bottle, but it's like the beer. It's that's the good one. So if you go,
what is the good one? What can you recommend? What's
here they have a in the middle there is a vermouth
to mix.
To buy Izaguirre. Oh, it's a very complicated name. I can write you. It's a Basque name. Yeah.
Okay, I will ask you.
Izaguirre. Exactly. But the best thing... No, Izaguirre. But the best thing is really to...
Please. But vermouth is made of what?
It's wine. It's a distillation of wine with herbs.
Okay, all right.
For having lunch to go with your friends, and especially in the evenings. So are we all here?
I'm here.
No, but somebody went to the toilet. Who was it? Okay. Okay. So I never use that. I have my own. Especially in this old part of Madrid where the streets are so narrow, and I find it really disturbing for the neighbors.
Yes, it is.
And sometimes you find here, during normal times, you could find here Saturday, I don't know, 3-4 groups in the next square, all with this speaker, and it's really not nice. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's a monastery.
For the barefoot or the other one?
No, that's not. That's one of the 5 monasteries we still have in Madrid, where nuns still live without no contact with the other world. We have a population about 78 nuns. You can imagine it's not something that young women pursue nowadays. So the new ones who came here to live with the elderly nuns, they come mostly from Philippines and Peru. We have no vocations more.
Local women, they don't want to be a nun?
No.
Yeah.
And especially you don't want to be a nun without and being here without no contact with the world, no speaking with each other, only praying the whole time.
Yeah.
So it's not something
Too much
that.
restriction.
Yes, I think if you go today to the churches in Spain, you will see most of them are empty, or at least it's not something. It's like the bullfights. The younger generations don't can understand it. But as I say, we have still about 78. Most of them are even more than 80 years old, and if they are younger, they are coming from other countries, not from Spain. Divided in 5 monasteries, like this one. And this one is very famous because the sweets they bake. So you can come here. That's the church, and that's the monastery. See? Un convento, perdona. Un convento. Sí, es un convento. Es un convento. It's a convent. Okay. So you can bell the ring. You can go inside, and you arrive exactly. You can buy. You can speak with them. You have like an interphone. You have to bring at least half a dozen of eggs to the nuns. That's the tradition in Spain. I brought 100 with the metro. That's quite a challenge. All of them arrived whole, but that's how they live, from all these eggs that women in Spain or in Madrid who follows the tradition and wants a sunny day, and from these eggs they bake this sweet, and they sell this sweet. So they have the pricing list. It's quite modern with the packaging and all, but you can't see them. You can only speak with them, and you leave your money, and they run, and you get your your package of sweets. So something in Toledo, you will have a lot of them. There are more. Yeah, a convent. Yes. So it's nice because in Madrid they try to show why the street has this name, and this ties with the name of the street. That's the Calle del Codo, Elbow Street, and with the sign you can see how, understand why it's called like that, because the size of the street is like an elbow. And there are a lot of, all in the city center, all the shields with the name are with this tile, trying to explain why it's the name like that or where it comes from. So let's see. That's like other cities. We have our icon made several parts of the city, and young painters can paint one of them. It's like an art exhibition, a street exhibition. We have this, that's quite new. We have years and years, we have had the Meninas from Velázquez, this shape of women in the whole city, displayed in the whole city. But since this year they have started to change a little bit the model, and instead of the Meninas we have now our bear with a strawberry tree. So we continue in this quiet part, but of course if you come here Saturday or Sunday morning, there are a lot of groups, a lot of free tours, all with his speakers, so quite kind of disturbing. But they are all administrative and official buildings, so the only building who actually people lives is this one. The rest belongs all to the city, because this one with the flags, it was the City Hall of Madrid until 2009, and it was since the beginning of the existence of Madrid as city, the place where the citizens of Madrid took the decisions for the city. It was in a church, but when Madrid became the capital of Spain, they decided to build this city hall, this nice one, in the place of the church, to give the citizens of Madrid the right to still decide a couple of things in the same place. But the most ancient building of the city is this one. Because Madrid wasn't really an important city before being the capital, we didn't have such many nice buildings, or it was really a village with nothing of importance who were worth to keep it. But this one belonged to the richest family in Madrid, who was a low noble family, but still here in this village was the most important one. And it's the only example of mudéjar architecture. We are going to see a lot of that in Toledo. Iñaki is going to explain you how it works. It's the way of building from the Arabs who stay in the Christian Spain. They could stay. They were not only allowed but welcome to stay because they were the ones who knew how to build, how to connect water. They were the architects. And the Christians who came and conquered all of this, they were like really military people and people of the north who really came from the pastures, but not architects, no builders, no engineers, no nothing. So they were encouraged and welcome to stay here, and during more or less 200 years, everybody lived in his neighborhood in kind of a peace until it wasn't so, until the Catholic Church pushed so hard to have all the population converted to Catholicism. But you see, that's my favorite building in Madrid from the 15th century. And it belonged today to the Historic Society of Madrid and this part, and to the University of Madrid, the other part. 2009, our mayor decided that this building was too modest and too small for him, and he bought a big palace at Cibeles Square and left the city hall, but still belongs to the city and still are offices from function city for the people. Especially here are the seats of the different political parties of Madrid, because the administrative part is the new one. That's more where the different political parties has his offices. The two entrances are because at that time when it was built, Madrid was still so small that the whole building was too much, and they decided to have two different buildings. This part was the city hall, this part was the jail. I would say today sometimes it's quite convenient. It's a direct way that some of our politicians make sometimes.
Vanessa,
¿Sí?
el nombre de la familia, ¿te acuerdas?
¿La familia Luján?
Luján.
Los Lujanes, sí. La casa de los Lujanes, es la casa de los Lujanes, la torre de los Lujanes. Sí, una baja nobleza que no tenía mayor importancia en la nobleza española, pero aquí como no había nadie más, pues eran los que mandaban. Yeah. And you see again the same structure, this red brick, granite, with the slate in the rooftops and the steepless. So that's how the buildings here were made. So you can imagine all these areas a dream place for filmmakers, because it's quiet, nobody is here, so it's very easy to make films, historic films. Calle is street, exactly. Exactly. So the other building in the square is this one, the Cisneros building. That's the main entrance, because that was together with the Calle Mayor, together with the main street. Main Street and Calle Sacramento were the most important streets in this medieval Madrid before it started to grow after becoming the capital of Spain. The family Cisneros, together with the Luján family, were the most powerful families in this small village of Madrid, and both of them could build these houses in the most important streets of Madrid. That's the other one was built in the 15th century. That's a building of the Madrileñan Renaissance, 16th century, nothing to do with the Italian or French Renaissance. It's our way of, and it makes, we still lived in kind of medieval spirit, and it wasn't hard to change or to adopt the new styles that come from Europe. And now we are living the Habsburg neighborhood to arrive to La Latina. Mm-hmm.
We have plenty of it.
And sometimes if you come here to this neighborhood of La Latina, you really can forget about living in a big city. So you have to really still the impression to live in a small Castilian village in the middle of Spain. No cars, no traffic, no taverns, no shopping. It's the place to tell that Madrid has 3.5 million people living. So it's really incredible to think that in such places. You see, even if they build new or they rebuild the building, because everybody wants to have a well-functioning water pump and heating system and everything, but they have to conserve, or they had to conserve all the elements, granite and coat of arms and whatever that could be conserved. So I warn you, everything that goes down, we have to go up later on. So until 1992, they put the glass there. Maybe you can see the glass. That was the favorite spot for suicide in Madrid. We had 4 attempts per month. So it was such a mess because it was like a very used street, a lot of traffic here. So every time somebody jumped, there was a problem. And that's because they put this glass to make it higher and avoid. Since then, people had found other places. That doesn't solve the problem, but at least it's not in the city center where tourists come. But okay. So, yeah. Let me explain you a little bit how it was with the different religion and neighborhoods. So that's a child's book that explains a little bit the history of Madrid. The first name of Madrid is Madrid, that's Arabic one, and as I told you, it was a fortress to protect Toledo. And in this case, the Muslims and the Jews, they live inside the walls, and the Christians, they could live because they weren't the ones who work in the lands, in the fields, in the pasture, but outside the walls. Everybody together, but everybody in his area. So during daytime, they could exchange, they could shop, whatever, but at night, everybody went to his neighborhood. When the Christians took Madrid, they made the same. They took the Arabic part, they made the walls bigger, and they used the inner part, and the Muslims, they could stay for a couple of centuries, but outside the city. So when we are talking about outside the city, we are talking about this area. That's La Moreria, that's the Moorish neighborhood. Since 1492, with the Catholic kings, no other religion was allowed in Spain. The name the name is still the same, but since then, no other religion was allowed in Spain. So it's only the name who is here maintained. So that's La Moreria, and still today we call it La Moreria. Even the people who lived here, it's the most traditional people from the city of Madrid. It's very difficult to find people who have 2 generations of parents and grandparents who were born in Madrid. And if you find one of them has a special name, it's a cat. But if you will find one of them, mostly in this old part of Madrid. The other rest, we are all mixed people with other countries, regions, or whatever. So, during summertime, if you are going to come back again, or if you are staying during the weekend, the best place to have lunch, the best place to stay or have dinner in Madrid is this square, Plaza de la Paja. Plaza de la Paja, straw square, if you want, because there were the place where people came to sell the straw for the mules, for the horses. It was one of the most important markets in Madrid. And there's a lot of nice places with a lot of terraces, and it's very, very nice. So it's a place to come, the place to be.
What is the name of the church?
San Sebastián.
Exactly. It's better to remember.
Okay, that's the church. What you see here, that's the bishop's chapel. That's not the church. The entrance of the church is in the other side.
And the locals, so I mean
the locals are there.
Behind?
Not behind here, but you can see that. 1, 2, 3 are on this side. We can see that, and the other ones are in the white and yellow or orange house.
Okay.
Okay.
Will we stop for coffee and toilet, especially for the old ladies? They will rest.
Okay, yeah, then let's go there.
Which one?
Yeah.
They have one there.
Yes, or we can stay here. It's easier, maybe. Yes. Do you want to make a stop, 15 minutes, to have a coffee? Okay. Yeah. We have 4. I'm going to. Okay.
Or inside? Outside.
Outside. I think most of them will prefer outside.
Yeah. Always prefer outside.
Yeah. I will ask for more chairs. Disculpe, ¿está libre?
We're stopping here for coffee.
So. Disculpe, ¿está libre? There you have it. And here's another one.
Tell us why it's called a green cross.
Yeah, it's an interesting story. So, when I was a student, that was my favorite cafe, and that was my favorite square in Madrid. But then I studied history, and I learned that in Spain, all the places that has the name Green Cross were the burning places of the Inquisition. So a lot of souls were burned here. Coffee, milk.